Well, I don't really see why anyone would question my choices. I've done nothing wrong. Wait, did he just say that? On live national television? You heard that right. That's Kody Brown talking in front of millions. And let's just say people are not taking it lightly. If you thought the sister wives drama was already intense, buckle up because this latest statement might just push TLC into a full-blown panic. Hey besties, welcome back. Today we're diving into something that's got everyone talking online. Kody Brown, live on camera, saying things that could have serious legal implications for the network. Yeah, you heard me. This isn't just reality television drama. This is potentially shaking the foundation of what TLC broadcasts and the contracts that go along with it. Apparently, during this live segment, Kody made remarks that were, well, let's say, highly controversial. Some fans are calling it shocking. Others are saying, this could be illegal. And honestly, when you look at exactly what was said and the context surrounding it, you start to see why lawyers might be paying attention. So what exactly happened? Let's break it down step by step. Because this isn't just about what Kody said. It's about how it plays into the larger storylines of sister wives and the dynamics that fans have been obsessing over for years. First, let's rewind. Kody has always been a polarizing figure. Some fans love him, some fans, not so much. And live television? That's a whole different beast. When you're on air, there's no cutting, no editing, no second chances. Every word matters. And this time, every word might matter a lot more than usual. Now, before we go deeper, here's the theory floating around from insiders and longtime fans. Kody may have crossed a line on purpose. Yeah, it's possible that he's playing a game, testing boundaries, or just reacting in a way that is classic Kody, but others are suggesting it's more serious. This could actually open the door to legal trouble for TLC, and that's exactly why we're here today. Now, let me walk you through what was said, why it matters, how the network might respond, and what fans are saying behind the scenes. By the end of this video, you'll see why this one live moment has people talking and worrying like never before. Here's where things start to get interesting. So right after that live clip hit the airwaves, fans were in an uproar. Social media exploded. People were asking, did he just say that? Does TLC even know what is happening? And honestly, it does look like even the network might have been caught off guard. Now, here is a theory going around among longtime sister wives observers. Kody might be trying to control the narrative. Again, we've seen this play out time and again. Whenever there is controversy, he either denies responsibility or flips the story. So it looks like someone else is at fault. This time, sources close to the matter are saying he might be intentionally framing the situation to protect himself while putting TLC in a tricky position. Think about it. He is on live television in front of thousands of viewers, and he casually drops lines that hint at disputes, disagreements, and even potentially illegal behavior. On one hand, it is classic Kody, defensive, controlling, unpredictable. But on the other hand, the legal ramifications could be huge if TLC aired something that opens them up to lawsuits. Some fans are pointing out that Kody's words might not just be inflammatory, they might be illegal technically. For example, phrases insinuating bad behavior, misrepresentation, or personal disputes with others on the show can be interpreted in a way lawyers definitely pay attention to. And we all know how careful networks usually are when it comes to live statements, especially ones that could be taken the wrong way. Here's the kicker. There is even a psychological aspect. Some theorists are saying that Kody's statement was strategic, almost like he knew exactly what he was doing. He has been on national television for years. He knows how cameras work. He knows how statements are replayed and picked apart. So the fact that he said this live without hesitation suggests there is motive beyond just speaking his mind. And honestly, if you've been following Sister Wives for a while, you know this is just so Kody. He thrives in moments of chaos. The theories floating around now range from, he is trying to pressure TLC, to, he is creating a storyline that benefits him legally. Fans and insiders alike are weighing in, and the speculation is wild. Well, now we're diving into the heart of the drama. Let's talk specifics, because that is where things get really wild during this live segment. Kody made a series of comments that, on the surface, seemed like casual remarks. But when you break them down, huge implications are made. He said things along the lines of, "I have always done right by my family, and I don't see why anyone would question that. I have followed all the rules now." Pause on the surface. That seems innocent, right? A harmless defense of himself. But here's why fans and experts are saying this could be a problem. Following the rules isn't just about family drama. It could be interpreted as justifying actions that might be legally questionable, and when you are on live national television, those words are permanent. They're on record forever. Then he went even further. "I think some people just don't understand the situation fully. And that is on them, not me." This line, subtle as it is, has sent fans into overdrive. Why? Because it shifts blame entirely onto others, which some are arguing could be construed as deflecting responsibility from potentially serious issues that TLC now has to account for. In other words, if anyone wanted to explore this legally, these statements could be scrutinized under contracts, network liability, and even defamation. Here is the insider perspective. People who have worked behind the scenes with Cody say he always knows what he is doing. He doesn't make mistakes on live television by accident. The deliberate nature of his words, coupled with the live broadcast, suggests he may have intended for them to stir up conversation, or worse, create leverage for himself. Fans are dissecting every word, every pause, every gesture. There is even speculation that TLC's legal team had a full-on emergency meeting immediately after the broadcast. Why? Because any line that could be interpreted as a justification for past behavior, or that paints the network as complicit, is a big deal. And here is something that really has people talking. Cody didn't stop there. He also said, "I've always tried to protect my family, and if anyone says otherwise, they're just wrong." This line, classic Cody, protective on the surface, deflective underneath, and controversial. When analyzed word by word, fans are saying this could fuel lawsuits, social media, blowback, and even internal network conflict. TLC is known for managing controversies carefully, but a live statement like this, that is a nightmare scenario. So to sum up, Cody's statements were innocent enough to casual viewers, but to insiders, lawyers, and die-hard fans, they were loaded. Every word has a potential ripple effect, and we're only just starting to see the aftermath. Now that we've broken down exactly what Cody said, let's talk about how people are reacting. And trust me, the reactions are intense. As soon as the clip went live, social media exploded. Fans were split, as always. Some people were defending Cody, saying, "He is just being honest, stop overreacting." But a huge portion of the audience saw his words as, frankly, alarming. There is this ongoing theory that Cody isn't just defending himself. He is strategically positioning himself in a way that could create legal or contractual complications for TLC. And honestly, when you look at it, it makes sense. Insiders, and I mean people who have worked with the Browns or closely with the production team, are saying this might have been intentional. They believe Cody knows exactly how far he can push the narrative. Some say that he might be testing boundaries, seeing how much TLC will respond to him, or even protecting his public image, while shifting any possible blame. And of course, fans online are already speculating about wild scenarios. One of the biggest threads involves how his statement could affect past seasons. If Cody implies that he has always followed the rules, it could make the network look bad for not stopping things that may have been controversial behind the scenes, people say. Others speculate if his words are a subtle threat, an insurance policy, or just classic Cody misdirection. Now, here is where it gets even more interesting. Longtime insiders and former collaborators. Think people who know exactly how Sister Wives operates point out that Cody has a history of saying things that sound harmless but carry weight. Basically, every word he speaks on live television gets dissected because it could have multiple meanings. And when you combine that with legal teams' contracts and reality television narratives, things get messy fast. And man, fans aren't holding back. You'll see comments like, "TLC better watch out. This is getting serious. He is walking a tightrope and might fall off. Did he just admit something he shouldn't have?" This is exactly the kind of chaos Cody thrives on. He has always managed to stay one step ahead in the drama. And now it seems like he might be orchestrating another big moment with this live statement. whether he intends to or not. The network is on high alert, with fans already buzzing about the fallout. Now we need to get into the part that is making lawyers sweat. Kody's live statements aren't just controversial. They could have real legal consequences for TLC. And trust me, when we talk about reality television contracts, liability, and public statements, this is some serious stuff. First, let's look at the big picture. Saying something on live television that could be interpreted as passing the buck, pointing fingers, or justifying actions that might be legally or ethically questionable, that is pushing it. Some insiders are suggesting that his remarks could open doors for a variety of claims, defamation, or misrepresentation. If Kody implies wrongdoing by others while exonerating himself, it could spark lawsuits from people who feel targeted or misrepresented. Contractual breaches. Networks often include clauses about statements that could harm the network's reputation. A live comment like this, it's a red flag. Ethical violations. While not strictly legal, if the statement suggests negligence or inappropriate behavior that TLC ignored, it could attract attention from regulatory bodies or public scrutiny. And here's a key theory circulating among insiders. Kody knows the network will likely have to respond carefully. If they don't address it, the implication is tacit approval. If they overreact, it looks like panic, which is exactly why some people think he might have intended this outcome. Another point to consider, live television statements are permanent. They get recorded, replayed, clipped, and shared across social media. Lawyers know this, and that's why there's often immediate post-broadcast damage control. According to insiders, TLC probably had their legal team reviewing this clip within minutes of airing. Now, let's connect the dots. Kody's phrasing, "I've always done right, and the rules are followed," could potentially be interpreted as justification for things that occurred behind the scenes. If anyone ever wanted to make a legal case regarding past seasons or incidents, these statements could be used as evidence. And because they happened live, TLC didn't have the chance to edit or censor them. Fans are already speculating about what could happen next. Some think TLC might issue a statement, some think they'll ignore it, and others are convinced this could lead to lawsuits. Honestly, the fact that everyone is talking about it is exactly the kind of pressure Kody thrives on, turning a live moment into a storm that he can control from multiple angles. Now we're getting into the why behind Kody's shocking words, because let's be honest, this isn't just random. If you've followed Sister Wives for years, you know Kody has a very specific way of handling live situations, and it's usually strategic. Some fans and insiders are suggesting that he made these statements to assert control. Live television is unpredictable, but Kody thrives in moments where he can frame the narrative. By speaking boldly and confidently, he shifts the focus from potential scrutiny onto himself as the truthful party. It's classic Kody, controlling perception, whether or not it's actually accurate. Others have theorized that part of this is about pressure and leverage. By dropping these statements publicly, he creates a situation where TLC has to respond carefully. Any misstep by the network could make it look like they mishandled the broadcast or failed to manage their talent properly. That's a lot of power to wield in just a few sentences. Here's another layer. Kody has always operated in high-stakes social dynamics. His relationships with his family, co-stars, and the network itself are complicated. Some insiders believe that live television moments like this allow him to reaffirm his authority, signal loyalty or compliance, and even subtly manipulate how others behave toward him. Fans online are analyzing every gesture, pause, and word choice. One comment I saw said, "He's not just talking, he's testing boundaries. He wants to see how far TLC and everyone else will bend before someone challenges him." And honestly, that's probably true. Kody knows how reality television works. He knows every statement can be replayed, quoted, and dissected. By choosing this particular phrasing on live television, he's creating an opportunity to shape the narrative on multiple fronts, from public perception to potential legal fallout. Now, let's talk about the ripple effects this could have on the cast themselves. Because Kody's live statements don't exist in a vacuum, they're part of a larger web of relationships that are already complicated. First, think about the other family members. Longtime fans know that Sister Wives is already full of tension, some of it scripted, some of it very real. When Kody speaks this boldly on live television, it changes how everyone interacts with him. It sends a message: I'm in control, I define the narrative. And for co-stars, that's either intimidating or frustrating or both. Insiders are speculating that some cast members may feel blindsided. If Kody is publicly asserting that he's always done right and that rules were followed, it could make others feel misrepresented. That could create tension both on camera and behind the scenes, especially if these statements contradict previous storylines or events shown on the series. There's also the angle of fan perception. Some viewers might side with Kody, others might feel sympathetic. Toward the other cast members, that division can actually affect storylines, because producers notice how audiences react. If fan sentiment shifts dramatically, it can influence editing, screen time, and even how narratives are framed in future episodes. And let's not forget, Kody has always been strategic about how he presents himself versus the network and the family. By making these statements live, he could be subtly sending a signal to family members: this is my truth, and you have to respond accordingly. That kind of move has a way of reshaping relationships and power dynamics without anyone saying it outright. One insider comment that went viral said Kody knows the camera amplifies authority. When he says something like this, everyone else either has to react or look like they disagree, and that's uncomfortable. Now, let's dive into the fan side of things because, as you know, the internet never sleeps when it comes to sister wives. The reactions to Kody's live statements have been explosive, and people are coming up with all kinds of theories about what it all means. First, there's the theory that Kody might have said these things intentionally to stir controversy. Fans are pointing out patterns in his behavior over the years. He often makes statements that look harmless at first but have hidden implications. On live television, that effect is amplified. Some theorists are saying he might be trying to create a story for the cameras, one that makes him look like the innocent party while putting TLC in a tough spot. Another popular theory: this could be a calculated move to protect himself legally. Fans are noting that phrasing like, "I've always done right, and rules are followed," could be used as evidence if anyone ever challenges him or the network about past events. In other words, he might be covering his bases while creating drama, classic Kody strategy. And of course, the social media reactions are intense. Twitter threads are dissecting every word. Clips of the live moment are being shared across TikTok, Instagram, and fan forums. Comments range from shock to disbelief. Did he really just say that on live television? TLC is in trouble if they let this slide. Kody knows exactly what he's doing. Classic move. Some fans are even connecting this live statement to past seasons. They're analyzing old clips, interviews, and storylines to see if this moment aligns with Kody's long-term strategy. The consensus, whether intentional or not, this statement changed the conversation about him, the network, and the show. Insiders are also chiming in on Patreon and fan communities, adding fuel to the fire. They're pointing out that Kody's comments might make producers rethink editing, scripting, and even how they handle him in future live segments. Essentially, one live moment has created weeks of speculation, and that's just how Kody likes it. Now let's get into the part that is really critical: how TLC might respond to Kody's live statements, and why the network is in a full-on PR and legal dilemma right now. When a reality star like Kody says something live on national television that could be interpreted as controversial or legally sensitive, networks have to react strategically. They can't just ignore it, and yet, if they respond too strongly, it can make the situation worse. It's a delicate balancing act, and insiders are saying TLC is probably scrambling behind the scenes. The first option for the network is the classic damage control approach. This usually means releasing a statement clarifying that the views expressed are those of the individual and do not necessarily reflect the network's perspective. This is common practice, but in Kody's case, that might not be enough. Why? Because his statements were phrased in a way that potentially implicates the network. Saying he's always done right or followed all the rules can create questions about whether the network was complicit or aware of controversial practices behind the scenes. That's why lawyers are likely reviewing every second of footage, word by word, right now. Another potential approach is editing or limiting future appearances. TLC could choose to reduce Kody's live segments, pre-record portions of his interviews, or even cut scenes that might further complicate the network's legal exposure. But here's the problem. Fans notice.
If viewers see that Kody suddenly has less screen time or that certain segments are missing, the speculation ramps up even more. Suddenly, the narrative isn't just about Kody, it's about the network supposedly hiding something, so even the editing solution is tricky. Then, there's the option of leveraging Kody's statements for storyline purposes. Reality television networks often thrive on controversy, and one insider theory is that TLC might spin this moment into a broader narrative for upcoming episodes. This is tricky too. It risks validating statements that could have legal consequences, but from a PR perspective, it keeps viewers engaged and drove ratings. The problem is, it's a gamble. Ratings versus potential lawsuits. Some fans are already theorizing that TLC might consult external PR and legal teams to craft the perfect response. That could include a measured statement, strategic editing, and behind-the-scenes briefings to key staff. According to insiders, this is standard practice. But the urgency is higher this time because the statement went live, meaning it can't be taken back. Every clip, every share, every replay strengthens the permanence of what was said. Lastly, there's the internal conflict to consider. Producers, editors, and legal teams may have differing opinions on how to handle the fallout. Some might want to publicly address the comments to minimize risk, while others might push for silence, hoping the controversy dies down. Kody thrives in situations like this. The more uncertainty and chaos, the more he controls the conversation. Alright, besties. Now we need to step back and look at the bigger picture. What Kody's live statements could mean for the long-term future of him, TLC, and Sister Wives as a whole. Because let's be real, this isn't just a one-off controversy. First, let's talk about Kody himself. He's always been a polarizing figure, but this live television moment has amplified his public persona in ways that are impossible to ignore. Some fans will rally behind him, calling him honest and brave for speaking his truth. Others will see him as reckless or manipulative, raising questions about his judgment and intentions. Either way, this moment will define his image for the foreseeable future. Insiders are suggesting that Kody may have calculated this. By making these statements publicly, he's reinforcing the narrative that he is in control. This could be a strategy to solidify his position within the family hierarchy and the show itself. It also puts TLC in a position where they have to carefully balance their treatment of him too harsh, and fans accuse them of targeting him too lenient, and they appear complicit in his controversial statements. Next, TLC. Networks are constantly juggling drama, ratings, and legal responsibilities. But a live statement like this raises the stakes significantly. They now have to consider potential lawsuits, contract reviews, and public perception. One insider theory is that TLC might implement stricter guidelines for live appearances moving forward, or increase monitoring of on-air content. That could change the way the show is produced, and it could impact Kody's ability to speak freely on camera in the future. Then, there's the show itself. Sister Wives has always relied on tension, conflict, and complex family dynamics to engage viewers. This controversy could become a central storyline, whether it was intended or not. Fans are already dissecting clips, theorizing motives, and debating whether TLC will cover this in upcoming episodes. The network could either spin it as a dramatic plot point to boost ratings, or attempt to quietly manage the fallout behind the scenes. Either way, the ripple effect will be felt in production schedules, story arcs, and even casting decisions. Another long-term consideration is audience trust. Reality television fans are hyper-aware of authenticity and editing practices. If Kody's live statement highlights discrepancies between what the show presents and what actually happens, it could challenge viewers' perception of Sister Wives as a reality series. That could affect ratings, social media engagement, and fan loyalty in the long term. Finally, insiders are speculating that this moment may set a precedent for other reality television stars. Networks take notes on situations like this, how one personality handles live television, and the resulting legal or PR fallout can influence policies across multiple shows. Kody's live statement might be referenced in future contracts, legal clauses, and broadcast guidelines, making this incident influential beyond just Sister Wives. Now, let's take a look at the real-time reactions from fans and insiders, because this is where things really get interesting. When Kody's live statements hit the air, social media immediately exploded. Tweets, TikToks, Instagram clips, People were dissecting every word, every pause, every subtle gesture. Some fans jumped to defend him, saying things like, "He is just being honest. Stop making a big deal out of nothing." Classic Cody. Always misunderstood. People need to calm down. But the majority, they were not having it. Fans pointed out that his phrasing could be legally and ethically problematic. They debated whether Cody was deflecting responsibility, subtly shifting blame, or even putting TLC in a tricky position. The discussions online were heated, and threads quickly went viral. Insiders also weighed in, particularly those with past connections to the show. Some have suggested that this wasn't a mistake at all. Cody knows how live television works. He knows how clips are shared and how fans dissect every word. By speaking in this way, he could be testing boundaries and creating leverage over the network and the production team. One interesting point fans noticed: Cody's statements tie into long-standing patterns we've seen on Sister Wives. Over the years, he has often positioned himself as the truth teller, while quietly controlling narratives behind the scenes. In other words, this live moment is consistent with his history of blending authority, drama, and subtle manipulation. Fan theories also began to emerge almost immediately. Some believe Cody's comments are part of a larger storyline designed to create tension for future episodes. Others think it is a deliberate move to provoke TLC into a reaction, which could then be framed as a public dispute, boosting ratings and engagement. A few even speculated that Cody is laying the groundwork to protect himself legally should any controversies arise from the show's past events. Social media has been especially unforgiving. Memes, reaction videos, and analytical breakdowns flooded platforms. Many pointed out inconsistencies in his statements compared to past interviews, and others debated the ethical implications of what he said. Some comments even went as far as to say that this could be a turning point in the series for fans, a moment where viewers moved from casual observers to critical ones who question not just Cody, but how TLC handles sensitive content. Now, let's talk about what might happen legally and why TLC insiders are watching this like a hawk. Cody's live statements may have just set off social media drama, but they also opened him up, and possibly TLC, to very real legal repercussions. And according to insiders, the network is taking this very seriously behind closed doors. First of all, consider the nature of live television. Unlike pre-recorded segments, there is no editing or room for retraction. Once it is out, it is on record. Attorneys immediately flag phrasing that could be used to imply misconduct, shun liability, or point fingers at mismanagement of the network. Cody's words, "I've always done right, and rules were followed," might have been an attempt at self-protection, but they could also point to possible liability for TLC. Insiders are foreseeing several outcomes. Official statements or clarifications. TLC may release a careful, measured statement clarifying that these comments by Cody are his own opinion and in no way reflect their stance on the matter. While that is completely normal, it has the potential of inflaming fans if it comes across as dismissive or totally defensive. Internal investigations behind the scenes. The network might review how the past seasons or agreements were handled to make sure nothing from Cody's live comments went against legal or contractual requirements, or open the network to some kind of claim. Editing or limiting future live segments. To stop further complications, TLC may pre-record future appearances or scale back on Cody's unscripted screen time. Common tactic, warn these insiders. But the fans will notice, and with that come more speculation, possible lawsuits, and here is the big one. While highly speculative, experts in the legal realm said that statements placed to suggest mismanagement, deflect blame, or justify questionable actions could theoretically be used in litigation. That doesn't mean lawsuits will follow, but it is a possibility. And that is why TLC's lawyers are on high alert. Fan theories are going wild. Some think Cody is intentionally creating a situation that would force TLC to respond publicly, thus putting the network in a tight spot. Others think this is purely reckless behavior, but insiders lean toward the idea that Cody is calculating every move on purpose. Either way, this moment has already become a case study in reality television legal risk. Another point to consider, the ripple effect on cast members. In the hypothetical case of ever moving forward with legal actions, hypothetically of course, This might affect how producers work with Cody and the rest of his family members. Relationships on screen, storyline planning, and filming schedules could all take a cue from this one live segment. Now let's break down the long-term impact of Cody's live statements. Not just on him or TLC legally, but on fan perception, ratings, and the overall trajectory of Sister Wives. Because honestly, this isn't just one controversy, this could shift the landscape of the whole show. First, fan perception. Cody has always been polarizing, but this live television moment amplifies that divide. Some fans continue to see him as honest and authentic, a man speaking his truth in real time. Others are questioning his intentions, wondering if he is manipulative or strategically controlling the narrative. The online debate has been relentless, threads dissecting every word, gesture, and pause from the live segment. Some even connect his statements to past seasons and analyze if this is part of some longer-term strategy. What is most fascinating, though, is how such reactions could affect the network. The fans that get shocked or upset may become hyper-engaged, watching closely as to how it plays out. That is great news for ratings. Controversy drives viewership, and this live moment created a storm producers can't turn away from. On the other hand, some viewers may feel disillusioned or frustrated with Cody's behavior and maybe disengage or criticize. It is a delicate balance. Networks thrive on drama, but they also risk alienating loyal fans if a star gets perceived as too controversial or problematic. Insiders say the situation creates opportunities when it comes to storyline development. Reality television is all about a well-crafted narrative, tension, and audience engagement. Cody's live statements created overnight a storyline that can be built upon in future episodes. Whether it's legal implications, family drama, or social media fallout, this moment can be woven into the show's ongoing narrative. Already, fans are theorizing about the consequences that could come of the moment, casting decisions, and a strained impact on the family's relationships. That gives TLC a number of angles to explore in upcoming episodes, which is exactly the type of material reality television loves. Second, there is social media amplification. The clips of Cody saying what he said are being shared, reaction videos are being made, and hot takes are being debated. It's a feedback loop in that fan discussion drives ratings and encourages more production, focus on the show's most controversial content, which then fuels more social media engagement. In essence, Cody's live moment guarantees that the conversation won't die down anytime soon. Finally, we have the show's future. TLC now has to take into account whether Cody's behavior on air affects casting decisions, episode scripting, or even the tone that's carried in future seasons. If Cody is going to continue making statements that spark outrage, the network needs to carefully manage his depiction, both for legal safety and fan engagement. There's also the possibility this could influence how the long-term story arcs of other family members play out, in accordance with how producers choose to handle the fallout. Now, besties, let's get into finally the last part, and let's sum all of these pieces together. Kody Brown's live statements on national television have started a whirlwind. From fan outrage and insider speculation to possible legal implications for TLC. Every word he spoke has been dissected, replayed, and debated across social media, really making this one of the most talked about moments in Sister Wives history. So, what have we learned from all this? First, Cody's phrasing. "I've always done right, and rules are followed." May be light on its face but carries great weight. According to sources, this very well may affect the network show's relationships, give fuel to fan theories, and even expose the network to some legal risks. Now, TLC must walk a tightrope, contain the damage without inflaming fans, protect its legal interests, and make the storyline continue to captivate audiences. Second, Cody's motivations seem strategic. In his psyche, he knows the power of live television and the ripple effect it creates. He positions himself as the authority, shifts blame subtly, and keeps the audience and network on edge. Whether intentional or not, this live moment reinforces his ability to control the narrative, and fans, insiders, and even TLC are feeling the consequences. Fan and social media reactions are a huge factor. Every word is being scrutinized, clips are going up everywhere, and people are theorizing about implications. That sort of engagement gives it ratings and keeps conversation alive. At the same time, it puts pressure on TLC to respond carefully. Every statement from Cody is now a piece of the larger puzzle, which influences perception of the show, the network, and the family dynamics. The long-term implications of such an act are huge. This one-live moment could affect casting decisions, future storylines, episode scripting, and even Cody's public image. The ripple effect will be felt for months, if not years. For fans, it is a goldmine of drama, speculation, and debate. For TLC, it is a high-stakes situation balancing legal responsibility, PR strategy, and audience engagement. And for Cody, it is just another opportunity to exert some semblance of control and shape the narrative, live and unfiltered. So here's the bottom line. Kody Brown's live television comments are way more than just some shocking words. They're a controversy starter, a catalyst for social media frenzy, and a possible legal headache for TLC. The drama, strategy, debate of fans, and intrigue of the network are all in one moment. As the story continues to unfold, expect more analysis, speculation, and reaction from the fans, insiders, and the network alike. Thank you all, besties, for sticking around, but don't go anywhere.